Welcome back to Be Productive. We are getting ready to dive in to talking about financial analysis because let's be honest, as business owners and leaders, we've got to be able to account for the bottom line and be able to not only show ourselves, but sometimes those other people that are known as stakeholders, sometimes we have to be able to report back to them and let them know how productive we're being. So, to help with this conversation, I am bringing on my dear friend Nora with Nourasbooks. She has been a bookkeeper and in the bookkeeping industry for over 20 years. So, she is an expert. So, Nora, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, we're going to go to the bottom line and really talk about stakeholders because, again, as business owners, it's not always about showing up for ourselves. Sometimes we need to answer to the other people that are investing in our businesses. So, how does proper bookkeeping contribute to our effective financial reporting when it comes to reporting to those stakeholders?
So, if you're having actually those bookkeeping rights, you will actually avoid underestimating or overestimating your revenue because I've seen it a lot. A lot of people actually overestimate their revenue. And if you are doing that, you're gonna show up, like, it's gonna be misleading for the stakeholders. They're gonna think like you're having a lot more profit, or and then you don't really have that, and you'll be asked, okay, where's our money, right? But
Right.
and vice versa, if you're underestimating, then they might think, okay, it doesn't make any more sense for them to keep investing in your company. So you need to have real data. I see a lot of people, like, for example, like an example of overestimating, they record loan as revenue. And
Mm.
that is not revenue. Like, you have to pay back that loan. So that's just one example I'd like to always share because this is a very, very common mistake.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, some people can get really overwhelmed in looking at the P&L and what cost benefits. What would you say are some of the best financial reports that we need to pay attention to? Out of all of them out there, are there a few that are more important than others?
Yeah, actually, there's like a lot of them are important in a different area. So you want to look, when you look for profit and loss, that's going to show you all the transactions and give you the profit or loss from the name, right? So were you profitable or did you lose money? When you look at the balance sheet, you want to look at, okay, how much money in hand in that bank account or saving account, or how much asset do you have. You're going to look at liability, so how much you owe others, regardless if it's accounts payable, if it's um, uh, loan payments or credit cards. You're going to see those numbers, and then you need the cash flow to see, do you have enough cash in hand to actually pay for your upcoming expenses that you need to pay for in order to keep your company running. So this is another thing you need to monitor very closely. Now, few very effective report to look at would be sales per product, to see if that product or service makes you, if it does make sense for you to continue doing that or no. Um, Also, sales per client or customer. So you need to see, maybe you need to give extra attention to that client and see other clients, if they're not actually subscribing to other services you may have. Maybe now you can upsell, so you increase your revenue. Or maybe you need to change something. Maybe you have some clients, they've been in an old pricing and you just updated the prices many times and they're still in the very old one. You missed those clients, right? So you want to
Mhm.
keep an eye, like sales per client, per product. And so these are like the most things like you want to pay attention to. And I forgot to mention, with the profit and loss, you want to keep an eye on the sales to see that revenue coming in. Yeah, so this is basically what you need to look. So
Mhm.
you don't have to look at every and each category, but at least those numbers you need to pay attention to.
You do. And I think, another big important thing that you hit on a lot is the concept of real time. We can't just do this once a quarter or once a year because it's probably going to skew the reality of what's going on. So how can really having this real-time bookkeeping that you help to provide help to us to really improve our analysis of our profit, our spending, all of those things?
So I always recommend that you want to have someone in-house helping you at least with organizing this data, sending that to the accountant or the bookkeeper, or at least doing the first step of categorizing to make sure everything is categorized right, and then sending any new information that hasn't been happening before to your accountant to make sure that she knows what's going on, so she can actually help you recording that accurately, and
Mhm.
have a monthly meeting, at least monthly meeting with your accountant to make sure you are on track. I recommend more than that, like 2 3 times or whenever needed, an extra than just one or two. You don't have to have it on your own, it depends on the company size, but you need to be informed as a business owner. You need to know how to read those financial statements, so you need to have that basic level of actually information, and you need to pay attention to one thing a lot of people actually um, they miss is tax planning. Tax planning along the way with your bookkeeping. So you have to add this type of services because this does not come alone, and it does not come from someone who does not know taxes. So the accountant has to know taxes, so you need to keep an eye on cash flow and tax planning, because you want to actually capture taxes at every step. See, okay, does this make sense? Should I? A lot of people make a mistake. For example, like we just finished 2023. A lot of people say, okay, I'm not gonna be able to invest for my company and this, for example, marketing service. I'm gonna wait until 2024. But when they do their taxes for 2023, they end up paying those money to tax. Like, why didn't they just pay it,
Mhm.
invest it, and then they could have saved that money? But now, like, they have to pay that and then maybe delay the investment for to grow their organization even longer.
Yeah. Really powerful stuff. I work with so many entrepreneurs and small business owners. So if you're one of those out there, I'm talking to you. You need to make sure you bring an expert in to help you with this. Again, this is not our area of expertise. I tend to think I'm pretty savvy when it comes to finances, but that doesn't mean that I am a bookkeeper and an accountant. It's a very different realm. You need to make sure this is for your long-term growth and your long-term protection. So many times people go through the year and they make good money, but at the end of the year, they haven't set enough money for their taxes or for other things. Or like Nora was saying, investing in the growth of your business. So you've got to be able to make sure you're taking, scale of this all the way throughout the year. So Nora, thank you so much. Now, I know that you are housed out of the Chicago area, but I know that you can help others. So where is the best place for people to find you? Because I know there's going to be people out here that want to pick your brain and get some of your assistance.
Sure, I would love to help people to create the impacts and actually get that growth for themselves and for their family. So they can see me at nourasbooks.com/contacts, and they can book a call on Zoom. So they can speak to me or someone on my team to help them. Especially now, like tax season is coming, you don't want to do an extension.
Oh, I know. I know I have done those many times. So, Nora, thank you again for being here. And for all of you that are watching, again, watch your bottom line. It's going to help you make better decisions, which ultimately help you with a higher level of productivity. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Be Productive.